Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for this week's weekly psychic reading. I'm Erin Lee, and you can find the rest of my readings on my website, VancouverIslandPsychic.com. Today is Sunday, October the 27th, and this is the weekly psychic reading for Monday, October 28th to Sunday, November the 3rd, 2013. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me and for commenting, posting, liking, and sharing. It's always great to hear from you guys. Today we're going to be using Doreen Virtue's magical messages from your Mermaids and Dolphins Oracle card deck, and your crystal choices for the week are azurite, apatite, lava, and malachite. So again, that's azurite, apatite, lava, and malachite. We'll move these guys out of the way. And we'll give the cards a shuffle, and we're going to ask the angels for the messages that we need for the coming week to help keep us balanced, centered, and on the right track. So the first card is for the beginning of the week, for Monday and Tuesday, and the message that's coming up is friendship. Make a date for a play day with one or more friends. So the message that's coming up around Monday and Tuesday is that it's really important that we're connecting with our friends and interacting. It's also really important that we're keeping things relatively light over the first couple of days of this week. It feels like there's been a lot of emotional changes and shifts that have been happening for people throughout the past week, and it's time to keep things light. It's also important to be reconnecting with our friends. And part of that is definitely coming up from a play perspective, but also making sure that we're touching in and connecting with our friends as well, acting as counsel and support for each other, and really helping each other through things rather. But definitely it's important that we're playing and having a good time the first couple of days this week. And also another message that's coming in is that it's entirely possible we're going to be reconnecting with friends that we haven't seen in a while. So expect that people from previous life or earlier in your life are going to be popping in. Looking at the card for the middle of the week for Wednesday and Thursday, we have empowerment. You are more powerful than you realize. It is safe for you to be powerful. So the message that's coming up with this is that it's really important through Wednesday and Thursday that we're starting to step out of our shells and recognizing that we are powerful in what we're doing and in the things that we're choosing. It feels like we haven't been giving ourselves enough credit for everything that we've been through that has brought us to this place and to this point. So not only is it important to recognize that you are powerful, but it's also important to recognize how far you've come. It feels like this week we're going into a week of a bit of emotional turmoil, and so it's important that we're calling on our friends, but also that it's important to see and recognize what we're contributing and what we're offering to all of the situations in our lives this week. And this is particularly important for Wednesday and Thursday of the coming week. Looking at the last card for the end of the week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, positive energy. Surround yourself with positive people, situations, and avoid negativity. And so the message that's coming up is that it's really important that we're keeping things as positive, light, and full of life as possible towards the end of the week. As I said, it feels like this week has the potential for being kind of emotional, a little bit up and down, but that as we come into the end of the week, that things are really starting to pick up, but it's really important that we're keeping our expectations high and positive. The other thing that's coming up is that it's really important that we are concentrating on what we want rather than what we don't want, and gratitude is coming up as being really important for the end of this week as well. So really, rather than concentrating on the things that aren't going right in your life, make sure that you're concentrating on the things that are. And that attitude of gratitude really starts to help bring in new positive and powerful situations. Looking at the overall for the week, it feels like we are starting to come into a bit of a hibernation place, and certainly if you are in Canada, then our weather is starting to reflect that hibernation mode as well. So it's more of a time of coming in into ourselves rather than really spending a lot of time or energy expending ourselves outside. The other thing that's coming up with this too is that things this coming week, as I said, feel like they're going to be a little up and down, expecting that by the middle of the following week that there's going to be a lot of change that you're going to be seeing happening. So if you are going through a difficult time and you're having a hard time getting over that hump, know that this is very temporary, and that by the middle of next week things are really going to be picking up for you. All right, so for our people who chose Azurite, your card is Synchronicity. And this is a really fabulous card. Your prayers and questions are being answered by synchronistic events. Notice them in order to increase their flow. So synchronicity basically means that everything is falling into place, and that it's important that you're taking the steps as they come to you and as they appear to you. So if a new opportunity comes your way over the coming week, make sure that you take it, because things are really starting to shift and fall into place for you. And for people who chose Azurite this week, the messages that came up over the course of the week feel like they're a little lower than what you're going to be experiencing. It feels like the energy that you're going to be experiencing this week, although you're still going to be in a bit of hibernation mode, it feels like it's more positive and things are really coming together. The other thing that's coming up around Azurite is this is a really powerful third eye stone. So noticing different things that you might be seeing and actually visually seeing around you. So paying attention to signs that you might be seeing or images that you might be getting in your mind, in your head. These are really important to you and are going to lead you to where you need to be going for the next step. For the people who chose Appetite, dream big. So again, there's this feeling of coming kind of back into yourself, and that this is a time for kind of passive creation this coming week, making sure that you aren't limiting yourself to what you believe could be possible, but being open to being surprised in a really wonderful way. The other thing that's coming up is Appetite is also a stone of manifestation. So it's really a time to be setting your intentions about what you're wanting to bring into your life. It also feels that there's a lot of background or back-end work that you're going to be doing this week. So again, this feeling of not necessarily being out with everybody, but kind of being behind the scenes and working on setting intentions for different plans that you're wanting to put into action. For the people who chose Lava, waves of prosperity, new abundance, and exciting opportunities wash over you now. So again, there's this feeling of allowing things to come in. It feels like there's a lot of work that you have been putting into creating change and making change happen within your world, and that things are starting to show. You're starting to see and feel that prosperity. And this isn't necessarily strictly to do with financial abundance, but also abundance in love life, in career, in family, that things are really flowing and happening for you right now. One of the other things that's coming up is that it's really important to express gratitude for all of the abundance that is coming into your life. The more that you express your gratitude, the more easily it'll come in. And the other thing that's coming up is to be really aware of how you share your excitement around what's happening to you. It feels like there are potentially a lot of people in your life who, although they want to be happy for you, for what's happening for you, they're in a place where it's not happening for them, and there's a sense of unintentional jealousy. So just being aware of that being a potential within your friendships and your relationships right now, and not taking it personally or allowing that to pull you down, and instead encouraging them to lift themselves up. For the people who chose Malachite, let yourself receive. Allow others to give you loving care. Receive without guilt or apologies. And, you know, this is really interesting. Malachite is such a stone that is related to the heart center, and it has a lot to do with transformation on an emotional level. And so it's particularly important for you to allow others to help you in a variety of different ways. One of the things that's coming up is that this is a really strongly emotional card for a lot of people. And so if you're going through something on an emotional level, particularly the first couple of days this week, make sure you're connecting with friends, family, and loved ones, because it's important that you're opening up and allowing yourself to receive help and support from friends and family at this time. And the other thing that's coming up too is it feels like there's potentially resistance that you're experiencing to allowing others to help, and that there's a sense of guilt around receiving help too. So please open yourself up to allowing others to help. One of the other things that comes up with this card is that often people who are reluctant to receive from others are people who are givers themselves. And one of the greatest gifts that we can give to somebody else is the gift of allowing them to give to us. When we give, we have a feeling of joy and being able to help, and it makes us really happy. And for people who are naturally givers, that's part of the reason that you want to give. Give somebody else the gift of giving to you. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me. I'm Erin Lee. You can find the rest of my readings on my website, VancouverIslandPsychic.com, and I hope you have a fabulous week.